Mechanical engineering moves the world. No tech without Mac. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the yet another episode of Branch Overview. Today, we'll be talking to Ms. Shanmukhi Sripada, who recently graduated from the Department of Mechanical Engineering with a BTech in the year 2021. That is recently this year. Talking about the present, she is working as a research and development associate engineer with Milton Machinery team in Bangalore. So now I would like Ms. Shanmukhi to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I am Shanmukhi Sripada, graduated from the Department of Mechanical Engineering this year. I am currently working as a Research and Development Associate Engineer at, I think we can proceed with the interview and see like what you have questions regarding the department. I will try my best to answer.
Okay, so ma'am, why did you choose mechanical engineering?
So honestly speaking, I had joined in the Department of Civil Engineering based on my choice of location, obviously. Of course, I wanted to join IIT Delhi. And back then, since I had wanted to be in one of the core engineering branches, I chose civil engineering based on the available choices. At the end of first year, we got a chance to change our departments based on academic merit. So eventually I ended up in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, again, based on the choices available. Basically, it was not something that I had chosen at the time of admission. So yeah.
So ma'am, you must have had a perception about mechanical engineering as a department. So maybe tell us something about that.
Yes, actually, again, honestly speaking, I did not have the time to even expect something, obviously, because I was all prepped up for another department, and department change results usually come very late, just before our second year begins. Having said that, there is a common set of courses which everyone has to do in the first year, irrespective of their branch, some of which were mechanical engineering courses, especially labs. Although most of people were comfortable with the labs, I was a little less comfortable, and this made me a little apprehensive about even changing department to the mechanical engineering department later. But I think I eventually ended up here, and the labs that I had come to fear at the end of first year, like back then, were few of my most favorite ones over the course of 3 years in the department. So I think my perception has also changed. Also, I think there is a common misconception that is usually present in the freshers when they join this department. Like it is all about that force momentum stuff that we did in physics, like during pre-JE. I mean, for JE basically. So, but I want to clarify, it is not just that. I mean, it is not even completely a part of mechanical engineering. It comes under applied mechanics. There's so much more to explore in this department other than those things that I have just mentioned about force, momentum, etc.
So, ma'am, a common question that everyone asks is, if we want to enter this branch, then we have a prerequisite of machineries and other misconceptions as well. So, can you elaborate on this?
It's completely wrong, actually. Like we have a set of courses which are specifically for that, and we are, taught right from the basics. So, and usually it's like the courses are structured like level wise. So, like in the second year, like initial phases, you have basics, and then slowly be advanced. So I think this is a very common, and it's a wrong conception that we need to have some prerequisite knowledge about machinery or mechanical, anything like that. I mean, of course, there are some things which carry forward from what you did in class 11th and 12th, but I think they are again, reiterated right from the beginning, right from basics in IIT Delhi. Like the curriculum is set such that, we have the like refreshing of those basic concepts, and then we slowly progress towards whatever the department has to offer, basically.
Right. And ma'am, there is like a very common misconception that a lot of girls don't really join mechanical engineering because it's not meant for them. So please tell us something about that.
I think now this department is not meant for so and so gender, so and so group. I think it is hopefully not affecting people much now. I think, like, if you see like from the statistics at IIT Delhi, I think the batch before me had no girl in mechanical. The batch which I was a part of, had one girl in mechanical, and then 3 other girls joined from other departments based on department change. And then next year, I think there have been like a good increase in the number of girls who are pursuing this course as well. Like even when I was joining civil engineering, like a lot of people who are close to me, they were saying, why you're choosing this department? There's a lot of field work and etc. etc. I mean, I think even you must have got this advice and stuff like that, because there's always a trade-off between, the college that you want to choose and the branch that you want to choose. So of course my choice was college actually. So I chose, of course, civil. But I think there will be a lot of people questioning you, like it's such a, why don't you go for computer science engineering? It's easier for girls to survive. I think that's again a very common misconception. Surviving, I think it depends on the individual, not on what you are, a girl or a boy, I think. And also, I think mechanical now, it's not only based on field work. I mean, okay, there were concerns earlier. Maybe girls won't be able to do it. But now mechanical is expanding actually. It's having, as I'll discuss later, what all the department has got to offer. It's not just restricted to the field work that we are talking about. I mean, every department, not on whether you're a girl or boy. And personally, like the experience that I had over the 3 years in the department, labs were pretty like chill. I mean, it's not that they were difficult to do with. In fact, of course, I mean, I never felt that difficulty. And because even in the manufacturing processes, labs and all, usually you are not supposed to do all that, hatoda marna and stuff like that. So you are basically learning about the processes that are actually taking place in the industry. You are not the one going to use that, directly. Okay, you're learning what are the basics, and then, you gradually progress. And I think the jobs also, the profiles also that usually open up for mechanical department, they are not field work based. They are, of course, industry based, but they involve R&D. They do not involve us, doing some extensive field work. So I think it's a good opportunity. Now, of course, I'll again talk about it later, that mechanical is slowly, the boundaries between mechanical and the other departments, that is slowly dissolving. So now we talk about interdisciplinary, research and everything. So that comes so it's not just field work. That's what I want to say. And I think I would encourage, if somebody asks me, like she's a girl, should she join mechanical department? I will say 100%. So that's fine. So I don't think that should be a problem anymore.
All right, ma'am. All right. So one more thing that I have to ask, first year is mostly introductory, and in the second year we came to know that what we have actually signed for is this. So what was your experience in this, after first year, in the later stages of your further studies?
The whatever common misconceptions, and apprehensions that I had at the end of first year, at the end of second year, I must say, and when of course the courses which we are afraid of, we'll be forever afraid of. I mean, that's not again department based. It's based on the individual, right? So of course there were 2 sets of courses. One was based on engineering drawing and one was based on manufacturing lab. Engineering drawing is still something that I think I'm a little afraid of, but I think that's fine. And manufacturing labs, I think I had done pretty well, and I had overcome whatever apprehensions that I had at the end of third year. So I think that is one good thing about it. So that is why I think it's fine. So I mean, it was a good experience for me overall. Like in the department, I feel satisfied now. Okay, I am happy that I changed department to mechanical. And partly, of course, my father is also a mechanical engineer. So it was something like, wow. I mean, yes, we both are mechanical engineers. And I think overall, I had a very good experience. It's not that I did excellent in every course, but I think I enjoyed whatever I did. So that was something I would like to say. I think it again depends on the individual. But I think there's nothing to be afraid of. Like if you're interested in a course, you'll end up putting in some efforts for it, and then you'll end up doing it well. So basically, mechanical engineering department has got 4 main subdivisions: design, thermal, production, and industrial. And of course, you have applied mechanics too, in the form of material science engineering, solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, etc., etc. So those are also there as part of this department. Okay, so when I talk about design, you can talk about machine design, which we were discussing earlier. So machine design involves the design of machine parts, and tools like including brakes, clutches, which are found in automobiles, etc. Then gears, brakes, etc. Then joints, etc. So it involves the applications of concepts of strength of materials, which we commonly call as solid mechanics now, material science, and then of course numerical or computational techniques also. And yes, since we are in the modern world now, we talk about computer-aided design, okay, which is an important part of our curriculum right now at IIT Delhi also, and this aids in the design process. Then we come to thermal engineering. But thermal engineering is more about thermodynamics, I think part of which we have done in 11th and 12th too. I think heat and mass transfer, fluid mechanics, etc. It finds its applications in various places, such as fuel cells, IC engines, which are found in cars, I mean vehicles, and then fuels, refrigerators, air conditioners, power plants, turbines, etc., etc. And when I talk about production and industrial, it deals with planning, managing, and controlling the operations of a manufacturing plant. Production mainly deals with the different manufacturing processes that are like prevalent in the industry, and industrial engineering mainly talks about how to plan, how to control the operations, how to manage the operations and all. So it's a systematic study of that particular part. Okay. So one thing I want to point out is like whatever I have mentioned, design, thermal, etc. They are not standalone. This is where I talk about why I found the department interesting. The applications of mechanical engineering that we discussed today do not involve just one or two departments. Okay, basically, mostly now we have interdisciplinary applications. By interdisciplinary, I mean both within the department, that is across the 4 subdivisions that I talked about, or the collaboration between mechanical engineering and the other departments. Okay, for example, let's take, I basically meant to say that this mechanical department can be easily integrated with other departments. Take, for instance, mechatronics. So it is not just like, mechanical engineering, not just electrical engineering. So it is basically involving all the elements, the elements of all the 3 branches, that is mechanical, electrical, and computer science. So it involves all the 3 branches. Like, I'm talking about the integratability of the department with other departments. So I think this is one example. If I take my job, for instance, that I'm doing right now, my work, so basically I am interested in core research and development, and I wanted to contribute something to my own department. So basically, but something which is relevant in today's scenario. So now we know that somehow software development is creating a wave. So somehow we are talking about digitization of everything. So my brand that I'm working on is basically for digitization of manufacturing industry. So I'm developing software for that, like, to meeting the market needs, everything. So I think that we also, it's software development plus mechanical. So I think somehow the work nowadays, it's not just restricted to, mechanical only. It does not require just the knowledge of mechanical. You are actually able to, grasp the concept of the common, popular software development also and utilize them. I think that is something I would like to talk about. And in fact, the company hired only mechanical engineers and not software engineers, because we have the knowledge about, the manufacturing processes, operations, etc. So I think that is also a good point. Like, we are able to collaborate with other departments, and we don't have just mechanical work. So everything comes together. I think that's particularly the case with mechanical department in general. The best part about mechanical engineering at IIT Delhi is that it includes a lot of different subject areas like thermodynamics, mechanics, mathematics, and algorithms related courses like, operations research, statistics, etc. and then some management courses also, like supply chain management, project management, etc. So you always have a variety of department electives to choose from, and also it is slightly easier for us to pursue our career in those specific areas when compared to other branches. The project options that we have are also plenty, which I'll discuss if needed. So these were the advantages. When it comes to the core points of the department, there are some additional points that may be of interest to consider while choosing your department. So basically, workload is genuinely not that much. I mean, you have, but it's like you can balance it easily, and you can focus on other interests as well. I believe that almost every student from my batch in the mechanical department was involved in some of the other extracurricular activity, and while faring decently well in the department too. So that is one thing. Workload is there, but it is like you can easily balance it with other things that you want to explore. Then it is quite flexible in terms of internship. Usually there are some departments which have rule that in order to claim some design credits, you need to, do core internship, but we don't have that restriction in our department. So this way, those people who want to switch their career, they have the option to plan it right from the internship stage. So having said that, I don't mean to say that internship decide how you eventually end up in whatever career option that you pursue, but still, yeah, there is some form of flexibility. The professors here are very supportive. At least this was my personal experience. So yeah, in general, I found them very supportive in both academics and projects related activities. When it comes to placements in non-circuital branches, mechanical department ranks the highest in terms of the number of students placed, basically. Also, I mean this when I say that a lot of core opportunities are also present and are taken up genuinely by those people who are interested in building up core profile. So I think all these points, core and then these additional points, I mean, now at the end of 4 years, I feel that, okay, I think it was a good choice for me. So that is why I recommend people, if you are even thinking like slightly that, okay, I might want to join department based on this college and stuff, then I think you should join, I feel. So I think these were the advantages that I felt should be, brought across.
Okay, so it will be great if you could give us a brief overview of all the courses that a person has to study under this department, and also how are these relevant and how do these help further in this field.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So in second year, as I mentioned earlier, basically we have, the basic courses. I mean, that might be required in the further progress in third and fourth year in the department. So like we have solid mechanics, which was earlier called strength of materials. So then that's the basis, and material science and engineering. They both come under applied mechanics department actually, but they are offered to us also. So these two are the basis of machine design course that we eventually have in our third year. Okay, and of course machine design, as I said earlier, like it talks about the how the design of the brakes, clutches, etc., etc. I mean, and they are an important part of, let's say, automobile industry because as the vehicles involve all those things. So I think the foundation courses are actually solid mechanics and material science and engineering. Then we have fluid mechanics, we have thermodynamics. These are the basic courses when it comes to thermal uh, part of mechanical engineering, and then they are further integrated with whatever we learn in heat and mass transfer. And then like I personally did a course on combustion and even gas dynamics and propulsion. Propulsion, I hope you understand, it's like how the jets are working and all. So they require the knowledge of fluid mechanics, thermodynamics and all. So I think that way, two ways. I mean, the basic courses are helping. First, of course, they are building the foundation for whatever courses we do eventually in third and fourth year. And also, I think the department electives that we do, like specifically with the application base, they're also like deriving their basics from these courses. So these are there. And then of course there's a course on engineering drawing. I think that is the basis for any, I think, mechanical engineering course. Of course, now we talk about, SolidWorks or Autodesk Inventor, etc. So that comes under computer-aided design. So, and even we have some mathematical courses, which we of course do in first year also. And even in India, we have statistics, let's say. So statistics is a very like basic requirement for people to actually go in the fields of data science and etc. etc. I think that is also one important course which most of the students consider, like from the career point of view. Then I think second year we have energy systems and technologies too. I'm talking about ME1 in particular. So that is also, of course, now we know that energy engineering is one of more prominent fields of research. So I think that is again the basic foundation course, I think. So yeah, I think that's it for second year, like the more common courses, I mean the basic courses. Then third year, again, you have slightly advanced versions of those courses. And of course, as I said, machine design. Then we have manufacturing processes. Okay, so I think that production part of mechanical engineering starts in third year. And I think manufacturing processes 1, manufacturing processes 2, we cover the basic manufacturing processes. I mean, I think when I compare ME1 with ME2, ME2 does it in more details than us, but still we are given some basic, foundation in this particular part. And even we are introduced to industrial engineering because we have courses like operations research, we have courses like manufacturing system design. As I said, industrial engineering is based on planning and managing of operations, etc. So operations research is a course which is also a sub part of mathematics department because they also do optimization and stuff, and we apply that optimization principles and all in this course. And it is actually a nice course because it is useful in terms of algorithms also, and in terms of the basics to industrial engineering too. So I think that is one particular course. Manufacturing system design is, I think, the course which is offered to both ME1 and ME2. And ME1 does only that course in this particular line, which talks about the managing of operations in the industry, like inventory control, planning, everything, etc. So I think that is there. And robotics actually needs a basic introduction in the form of control system. This is present in even electrical engineering department. So control systems, control theory and applications, we have a course in third year. So that is based on control systems and open loop, closed loop. All these, I think, form a basic foundation in robotics too. So that is, and other, of course, other things as well. Then I think in third year, we also have, I guess, computer-aided design, finite element analysis, and of course, numerical techniques. So these are all important from, this point of view. Like now we are actually automating everything. So computer-aided design, the SolidWorks software that you work with, everything. So all that stuff comes under this, and all the mathematical principles behind this computer-aided design. So they are also covered in that course. So these are more or less, and of course, heat and mass transfer, as I said earlier. So that's an extension of thermal engineering. So that comes in the third year. And in fourth year, there's one course which is common to all, and then people start taking up department electives of their own choice. So that course is actually computer-aided manufacturing. I think personally, I feel the job that I am in actually requires the knowledge of that course, because computer-aided manufacturing, now we are talking about digitization of everything. So industries also, like, the processes are no longer manual. They require, automation and all, because I think now the pace that we are, progressing, I think it requires us to, change ourselves in that direction too. The computer-aided manufacturing is also one important course, like at least which I found for my career. So I think now we talk about smart manufacturing and all. I think it talks about the basic foundation for that particular, regime, I should say, smart manufacturing and all. So I think that is there. Baki, I feel like people have taken up different department electives, and it's their choice. I mean, they can take. I have taken a variety. I have mainly thermal related department electives like refrigeration and air conditioning systems, internal combustion engines. So like what are these courses for exactly? Internal combustion engines, of course, for automobiles, and then refrigeration and air conditioning is like okay, understood. And even I did advanced operations research, so industrial engineering project management course. I think construction industries like Tata Projects Limited, they actually require you to apply the basic principles of project management. I think that way also it's a nice, and there are people who take up supply chain management too. So I think those who are more interested towards managerial work, like those who are later planning to be in this side of supply chain, then project management, etc. I think these courses, taking up these courses can be a little helpful because they can help build some foundation, like based on which you can continue. So I think this is the brief overview of the courses that are there. And of course, I did not talk about the electives in design because I personally have not taken them, but there are design courses based on design like automotive design, so automotive systems, I mean, which are based on vehicles and all, then power trains, all these are there in design as well. So I think all of the electives also have got something to offer to different fields of study or industry or anything, I think. So these are the, I mean, I don't know if I explained everything clearly, but these are the courses that are there in each like sub domain that I was talking about, thermal design and all. So I think these are the this is a brief overview of the courses that are in general expected by, I mean, the institute. Of course, they are set by the institute, and students are expected to clear them, of course. And I think all of them are interesting. Of course, it depends on your interest too, but I think, yeah, it's manageable. So I feel I mean, even when I'm talking about the courses, I realized, okay, yeah, there are a lot of applications which I still have not, given considerable thought to. So I feel that I think it's a wide, I mean, it's a branch with a wide exposure level, I should say. And then I think it's a nice branch. So I think, yeah.
Was your experience and your project and internship that you have did in your years?
So one project that I had taken up in second year was based on material science and tribology. So tribology is actually the study of surface wear and friction and stuff like that. So I think the application was intended for hip joint replacement. We talk about it. So basically, I had to research on composites. So I was actually researching on a particular pillar material that forms the, it was mainly an experimental project, and the main part was to check whether it's suitable for hip joint replacement or not. So of course, in my case, the material did not prove very good for hip joint replacement, but at least the point was that a new composite was discovered with enhanced properties. So I think that can be used for other applications. It's not hip joint replacement. So I think that was one project. Then there was the final BTech project that I did that was actually based on industrial engineering, operations research, and supply chain management, both. So basically, actually, it is relevant to current scenario. So we developed a mathematical framework for vaccine distribution in India. So it was a total like optimization based project, and we had to collect data. We had to, code for the like entire model and then solve the models and get the desired results and understand the trends that are happening by varying parameters, like if the manufacturing capacity of the vaccines is reduced by this much, what will happen. How basically the objective was to develop a tool that can help the decision makers or the authorities, the concerned authority, to decide how the vaccines should be distributed. Because now it's only about Covaxin and Covishield and stuff like that. But usually we have the whole immunization program, right, for kids to get vaccinated with whatever vaccines are required in their immunization schedule. So we developed the framework for that. So I think that was an interesting project for me. So I got a very good exposure to industrial engineering in general. So that is one project. And there was one lab-based project. So it was again relevant to current scenario, and it was a thermal and design-based project. So we actually developed a cold storage system to, developed a prototype basically for a cold storage system. And actually, before Covishield and Covaxin was actually started to, be distributed in India. Actually, there was a consideration for Pfizer vaccine also, which is distributed in USA. But that vaccine requires very, very low temperatures, minus 80 degrees Celsius. And that requires a huge amount of power, to store the vaccines before their potency gets reduced and stuff like that. So I think we designed a prototype for a cold storage system. I think one thing I forgot to mention earlier about the advantage of mechanical engineering department is there is one final lab course which you have in your 4th year, and that actually involves, of course, the current scenario had been like online classes, but so we were just limited to design of that entire product that we are. So basically that course involved us first thinking about the problems that are surrounding us, then ranking the problems and choosing one particular problem that we want to work on, then suggesting a few solutions that can be used to tackle that problem, then again ranking them, and finally working on the entire intricate design of that product. So we also did that. Earlier, when it was pre-COVID, I think the lab involved fabrication as well. So you actually developed, products along with, designing the products. So I feel that this is one particular interesting lab that is actually mechanical engineering lab 2. And I think a lot of students find it very interesting because finally after 2.5 semesters, 5 semesters in the department, they actually get to apply whatever knowledge they have acquired, and in the design and production of a product. You decide the material also, you decide the dimensions, everything, and they are all based on engineering calculations, not random. Like first year MCP 101 course that was based on again the same thing was a little random. It was not based on some particular calculation. It was a random, you chose a random problem, you chose a random solution, and somehow you developed, and that's it. But I think 4th year mechanical engineering lab 2 requires you to actually think about, the way you develop the product is like, this is the best solution that is possible. So I think this is one particular course that was very interesting, I feel. Like, even in an online semester, we actually were able to, come up with a very good design, I feel. So I think everyone had done their parts well. So and usually it's a group activity. So everything, it's advantageous in terms of that also. You get to work as a group and it's interesting. So I think this is one particular thing that really that I really like, because of course we faced difficulties because it was the first time, because our batch was the first one to witness this course in an online mode. We were not even called to campus, but somehow the course was successful because everyone had done the design part very well. So I think it's a very good course, and I think it serves as a perfect end to the 4 years in the department by me. But I think this department serves a lot of options that you can actually possibly explore, because obviously it is impossible for us to explore everything. But I think whatever you pursue in that department, I think it's going to be memorable. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. I think all the viewers get a very good idea about this branch. And with this, we come to the end of this branch overview.
Thank you so much.